Well, hello everybody. My name is Minkwai, and today we're going to be looking through a mind map that can tell you about 9 things that could help you, that can destroy or that can harm your brain. Like harm here in the literal meaning. Well, let's look at these 9 things. First, staying in the dark for too much. I know that maybe when you're sleeping, you can stay in the dark. It's totally fine. Like everybody does so. I also stay in the dark when I'm sleeping, but staying in the dark in the morning or in the day, it'll be something that you need to look at because lightning, the sunlight, help our brain to work for way more better. It will help us to know more about things that are happening around us and to know more about time management too. Staying in the dark too much does not just hurt your eye, but also it will hurt your brain a lot too. Because your brain can't focus on if it was day or night, so that they should work or should they rest. And it would cause a really big harm to yourself. So yeah, try to stop staying in the dark. And even when you're sleeping, if you want, then please try a habit of sleeping with sleeping lights, like the light like this one. Yeah, this one is just like the sleeping light, and it will help you to have a good sleep. Wow. Also, not staying in the dark for too much. Next, consuming negative news. A lot of people have said if people around you are negative, then you're going to be always negative. And if people around you are positive, then you're always going to be positive. Consuming too negative news, especially news about your relatives or especially about you, it could harm you a lot by making you to just focus on those bad news and focus on the way how to fix them without thinking of the way on how to move up from them. And by not knowing them, it will cause you a lot of harms, and you barely can't even focus on things that you can do every day. So please try to skip it. Next, we have blasting headphones. Like not just the headphones like that, we have the earplugs. My mother always said, I know that headphones and earplugs can be really useful and also really convenient, especially when you're in a place where there's a lot of people and you want to listen to your own music. But by blasting headphones and by turning them on the maximum level or turn on a really high level, it will cause your ears here to be hurt. And it could even cause you to a deaf stage or having problems with listening. And also, you listen to things by your ears, or not just by your ears, but also it's by your brain working and processing everything, right? So by doing that, it will vibrate to your brains and cause your brain to act too. Like, did you ever come into a noisy place where they have like the karaoke songs that are always so loud, and you feel like your brain is ditching or beating with the beats? Do you ever feel like that? And the same thing will also happen when you're blasting your headphones. So try to reduce it. And even if you try to listen to music without earplugs or headphones, try to put it in a medium volume, the volume that is enough for you to listen to. Okay? Next, we have is social isolation. I know that social isolation wouldn't really mind with brains. No. It actually has a way more bigger thing that you need to look at. Social isolation. Do you ever feel like you're really hard to join a crowd, or you're always scared to face others people? If you actually do, then try to skip that social isolation because it's never good for you. It will cause you to become a timid person and be really shy when you're in front of public. And also, by having social isolation, it could help you to doesn't know anything about social around you and harm your brains a lot. Next, too much screen time. This is too easy, right? Too much screen time can both harm your eyes and also harm your brains because too much screen times can cause you to preserve too much blue light, the UV light, and it will harm your body a lot. Like maybe not screen time when you're outside. People say you're sun sick, something like that, right? And it means like when you're out of the sun and you work too much and your body is processing too much, you could maybe get a sun sick. And yeah, it could cause to have a headache. Your brain is aching. And next, consuming too much sugar. What? It is actually true somehow. Consuming too much sugar can harm your brain a lot because by consuming too much sugar, it will cause you to have a sugar crash. And that is something that nobody would wants to have, right? I hope so. Next, skipping breakfast. Breakfast is always known as the most important meal in a day. Like the most important meal. You can maybe skip lunch or you can maybe skip dinner. It is totally fine, but every day you should have breakfast. Like my friends, they always skip breakfast not and it will not bring you any kind of energy. Well, why do scientists say breakfast is important? Like imagine when you have dinner. After you eat dinner, you just usually sit there, watch TV or play games and then sleep, right? You doesn't have any kind of activities that need a lot of energy. And so by having too much for dinner, it will cause your body to digest quickly enough. So even when you're sleeping, your body has to digest food and it'd be something really bad. But imagine if you skip breakfast. Breakfast is the meal before morning, and usually in morning you do a lot of exercise, right? And breakfast is just like the main amount of energy for the whole day. So by skipping breakfast, it just means you're skipping energy. Next, barely moving. Like, do you know designers or the person who are coders? They always sit on their chair, focusing on their laptops, and there are even some kind of health problems happening to them. Try to move sometime. Sit up, do some exercise. That's the reason why my clock here always tell me for like to stand up and to exercise to improve your own health. And it will be something really important somehow. And lastly, we have poor sleeping habits. Like, did anybody of you sleep just like for 5 hours a day? Or I don't mean about the kind of amount of sleep time you have. It's totally fine if you sleep late or if you sleep soon. But did you ever try to sleep at 7 a.m. and then you woke up at like 11 a.m.? First, it will cost you a kind of feeling of a headache, right? Like you sleep for 4 hours. But imagine if you sleep in 8 p.m. and you sleep until 12 a.m. 12 p.m. Well, imagine it will feel totally different. By having a great sleeping habit and learn how to sleep soon, it will help your health a lot. Like no matter how many hours you sleep, by sleeping soon, it will help you a lot. Well, that is all for today. Thank you for listening and goodbye. See you next time.